Is it though? Hello, if it's 5 o'clock on a Monday, it must be Sarah Peasley Hand Knitter Facebook Live. Woo! How are ya? What's going on? Do I have food in my teeth? I gave chocolate. How's it look? Okay. All right. So I always have to, according to the Facebook Live, you know, being, I always have to have a title and I have to have a description and then it lets me go live. So I try to have a title and a description that actually have something to do with what I'm doing or what I'm thinking I'm going to do. So today's title was, I don't know what it was. Let's see. I think it was filling gaps. Could it perhaps have been filling gaps? I don't know. I don't know. Now I'm trying to find my feed over here on the iPad. Um, I think it was filling gaps. I'm looking for myself. That's like, hello, one viewer. That's like a metaphor for life. I can't find myself. I was hoping I could watch, oh, what are they called? Whole, making everything whole again. I found it. Okay. Woo! Oh, and then we have, ugh, okay. Yeah, that's not going to go well. But the thing is, making everything whole again. Anyway, I try to have things that are a title that sort of is where I'm going to try to go. So today was, I think it was filling gaps, and then my description apparently was making things whole again or something like that. I don't know. And so talking about filling gaps. So one of the things that I wanted to show you or talk about is can you tell I'm an editor? I'm constantly editing everything I say. It happens in my brain. It's not just in front of you. So let's talk about this one. And I'll just tell you that I'm a little stressed today because I'm behind on all kinds of things. And it's like today and yesterday were the days when all the people emailed me to say, so how you doing with that thing that you're behind on? And so I'm trying to tell everybody, oh, I'm working on it, or I'll work on it soon. But like, if I put one thing down to pick up the next thing, I don't know. So I'll never get anything done. For example, I have proposals due tonight, I think, for stitches in January, and I wanted to propose new things, and I'm either going to not propose or propose old things because I didn't get a chance to do new things because I'm doing other old things. All right, so filling gaps. This is one of the emails I got today. Was for how's my sweater coming along? Is it finished? So, oh, meow. So this is the sweater, and I put the new border on the bottom. So yay me. Can you see the bottom? Yes. And I, with your help, as you recall, nope, I fixed 2 holes, which we may not even be able to find at this point. Oh, I left the tails. So you can sort of see, well, what you can see. Can you hear the dog and cat fight going on? So I fixed it, but look, it's still really thin. Oop. Ugh. Facebook, just put the camera where I want it to be. There. It's still pretty thin. So I want to cover it up some more. And then that was the big one, I guess. And the small one is right here. And that one's not bad, but I want to beef because nothing's really showing through, but I want to beef that one up a little bit more too. So we're going to start with that. So I told her, Suzanne, that everything was done, but I wanted to do a little bit more. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to go wee down here, and you can watch. Whoop. I guess I need a needle. So we'll go over here to the needle drawer and grab, let's use green today. Do we want to use green today? Does that show up against the blue? It does. So this is the first thing I'm going to make some progress on. I told her, whoops, and as usual, when I put something on my keyboard, I hit it and things happen. So I told her that I want to do some more of the, do those go together? No. Beefing up. I called it beefing up. And then I said, how would you like to pick up your sweater on Wednesday? And she said, yes. So guess what? Now I have a deadline. It used to be before it got cold or when it got cold, and now it's Wednesday. So this feels good over here. And this will be nice and easy. What's going on back here? I can feel some little ends from the original boo-boo. And where am I? What happened last? This? Yes. So, wow, that's thin. Why is it so thin? It's pretty thin. Okay. Well, let's see what happens when I beef it up. So that went there, so it should go down here. And then up here. All right, let's try to get this ball rolling. What happened there just now? Oh, that's why it's so thin, maybe. Oh, nope, 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 nope. Spoke too soon. That's the stuff from behind getting pulled forward. So what we'll do is we'll work on this for a little bit, and then I'll show you another bare elbow or worn elbow that I want to fix, but I haven't decided how I want to fix it yet. We'll talk about that one. What's this? Ugh. And then, so that'll be the holes. And then I made a lot of progress on the, we're just going to go get this with a crochet hook because I don't know what the heck's going on. Boop. Afghan. The Afghan that I was going to take apart and put back together. Those letters weren't right, but I think you heard what I was saying. Take apart and put back together. Here we go. And I'm still threaded. Good job. So I'll show you that, and we'll do a little bit more on that, and you can see my process there if you're interested. And then, swipe left. Which way's left? That way's left. Hey, Jen. And then let's see what else. So we'll fix these. We'll beef up this fabric a little bit, and then we will go look at the Afghan. So I don't know. I'm just duplicate stitching. I have all the pieces now that I fixed the hole. So I am just I'm following a serpentine. I could do this in a different color, but so you could see it, but that wouldn't help Suzanne at all with her sweater. I'm just serpentining across, if you can see. Oop, I can put it way up there, but then I can't see what I'm doing. To just put another layer on top. And then I plan on telling her not to use her elbows for anything. Just kidding. Okay, so there I put a row across. And let's go a little bit farther. Let's see, that's that row. We're gonna go up a row. Maybe we'll go up a row over here. Okay, please hold. There. And then I'm gonna go the other way, and I'm gonna turn it upside down and do it upside down because I am not left-handed, so I can't go left to right very easily. And now I'm doing the next row up. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing, or there's really no point to me doing this with you. And hi, Kelly. Let's see. Oops. Oh, we got some, like, I say detritus, but somebody told me it's detritus. and that just blew my mind and like ruined my life. So I think it's called detritus, some little crap that's stuck in there. Sometimes, you have a word in your head pronounced a certain way and you are positive that's how it is, so you use it that way, and then somebody says it a different way and you laugh at them. You go, ha ha, that's not right. And then they prove to you that it is, and then your world is just not the same. I pulled it through again. And that happened with detritus, if that is in fact the right word, and also with clerestory, the kind of window that apparently I have on the front of my house. I called it clerestory because I think that sounds less weird than clerestory, but apparently I was wrong on that. Wrong, wrong, wrong. So there we go. All right, I'm going to... So that's beefier. I'm turning it again. Oof. Oof. We get sound effects when we do some mending. Okay, so now we're gonna do the next row. Boy, I hope this holds. It's gonna look maybe lumpy, but pretty darn good, in my humble opinion. There we go. Hopefully you can sort of see. It's a serpentine. And it's really easy to serpentine following patterns. What are they called? Stitches that already exist, once you know what you're doing. So I'm just going right to left at the top of the row and right to left at the bottom of the row. Just make sure I go in the right places. And I think that's the end of my patching. So go back in the base and come out the base of the next one up. And then turn this over. Come in the other way. Oops. And do another row. Let's see. I'm going this way. And I can't see, since I hit the keyboard so many times. I don't know. Oh, okay. 0 comments. That's very encouraging. You're just all enthralled. So here I am doing another row. We'll do a few rows and then we'll see if it looks better up on this side. Except I'm also running out of yarn, so that could bring an end to our mending. But guess what? I have more. Oops. See that? Okay, since that gave up, I'm going to stop with that strand. Whoops. Sarah hair in almost everything these days. And I don't know if you were here before, but this is yarn that used to be part of the, here we go, sweater, part of the border. But I took off the border because it was kind of raveled at the bottom, and I tied all of the rows. The rows ended up being separate strands of yarn, and I tied them all together and ran them through an electric tea kettle that was boiling, not through the whole, well, in the spout and out the top, and I could have gone the other way, and it worked great as far as getting rid of the wobblies of the yarn. Oh my gosh, there we go. I had to tie them all together so I could, pull them all through. So it worked great because now it looks like plain old yarn, except the very end where I started, although that's where the knot was. Here's the very end where I started. So that was how wobbly the whole yarn was. Wobbly being, of course, a technical knitting term. So back to this part. What time is it? What time is it? I have no idea. What time is it? 5:14. Okay, we'll do this for another row or two, and then I'll show you this. I'm going to leave that out while I keep going. Whoop. Whoa, I have a lot now. And then I'll go back and feed in the ends and weave them in later. I'm less likely to do something weird with them if they're sitting on top of the fabric while I'm working. So let's see. Talk. I was in the middle of a sentence and I don't know what it was. That's so unusual. Something to do with, I don't know, knitting or yarn. Am I there? I think I'm there. Yep, so I'll finish this one. Let's see. Go to the next one. We'll do a couple more rows. Never fear. And then we'll talk, I'll show you the next thing I want to repair, and we will look at, what else will we look at? The, oh, yep, the Afghan, and then I'll show you what I've been working on. I kind of dropped everything to work on something, and I'll show you what it was. What it is. Okay, I don't know. I don't know. Where was this? Here? 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 Where was this? Oh, okay, there. All right. Oops, so it already did that one. Wait. No. So I did, oh, man, I'm stuck. This was, why did I come out there? Because I'm up here, you goofball. Oh my gosh, Sarah. Okay. Like that doesn't look right at all. So this, okay, I'm back. I'm back. Off and running. Back across the thin part. Whoops. Get all these guys out of the way. Hi, Marilyn. Thanks for saying hi. Oops. There we go. Okay. So no, this, oops, that didn't look great. Oh, I think it is though. Is it? Yep. Do this row and then we'll stop and look at it, and then I'll finish this up later. But now I have a deadline of Wednesday. The old deadline was when it gets cold, and the answer is now. Why is this here? Oh, because that's the side. I don't know. Am I doing something wrong? No, that's where I just changed strands. Oh my gosh. Having issues. All right, so keep going across. Mhm. And we'll see what it looks like. Hopefully it looks better. More thickerer. Okay, I think that's the end of where I've been patching. So I'll finish that stitch and go up a row. Actually, I'm going to do one backward, one on the next row so I know where I am. Oops. There's lots of oops going on, isn't there? Okay. So now let's look. Oh, okay. Let's look at. Ooh. so many noises. So I beefed this part up. And it is indeed beefier. I think we're doing okay. And I don't think I'm going to do a little bit that way. I'm going to do more this way. Did I go over far enough? I mean, the whole thing is kind of see-through when we do it that way, but I think that's going to be a lot better. Phew. And I think I went over far enough that way too. So I think I'll keep going a few more rows there and come back and do just a few rows here, and then it'll look, I don't know, it looks pretty darn good. Where is it? Keep losing it. So, you know, I think it'll look good. A little puffy, but it's the same color. My original plan was to do all kinds of crazy stuff with other colors of yarn and hi, and to make leaves on this sleeve to match some of the leaves that are on the other sleeve, except couldn't find exactly the right yarn, so then I was gonna do more stuff. Okay, I'm just parking my needle. That reminds me of something else I can tell you. Yay. All right, so this is better. That was the harder part to fix, was that bigger hole. So that's better. I'm gonna put my crochet hook away so I can find it next time. So that's off and running and very close to being done, and I'll give it to her on Wednesday. Drink them if you got them. And then I said I would show you. So I have a sweater that my sister gave me many years, not that many years ago, but years ago, and I wore it a ton. Where is it from? It says Vince. And it is made from, you're going to be so jealous. Vince, 50% yak and 50% wool. This is like such a warm sweater, and I wore it all the time. And then one day, and it's got a hood. Not that I ever wore the hood. Here, I'll show you. I can do it without. Oh, hold on. I haven't put a sweater on with a long sleeve shirt on in quite a while. So, and it's black. Black is always a good color for me. Grab. Let's watch Sarah get dressed. So I can show you what happened. I haven't been able to wear it. Okay. And it's got this cool detailing which you can't see. Can you see it? There. Well, besides the dog hair. The seams are all done so that there's a little ridge on the outside, to the outside. It's got this awesome, if I wanted to wear a hood, which also has the seam, I could, but I don't. And it's just really big and loose and warm. Well, apparently I usually have my elbows in a different place. Look! It's a sad, sad thing, right? And it's this side has some somewhere too, I thought. But this is this is worse than what I'm fixing. And it's a commercial knit garment. So it's teeny tiny, and I don't happen to have a source for yak and wool handy. So for this repair, which is mine, whoops, I'm going to do something else. And so I was thinking about putting a patch on, like a knitted patch, like knitting a rectangle and sewing it on. So the mending I did on the giraffe sweater is like duplicate stitch or Kitchener stitch mending, I would call it. Recreating the knitted fabric. That is too small. That's not practical. I've fixed knitted fabric that's teeny tiny with embroidery with thread, sewing thread and a sewing needle, and I don't want to do it for that big of a expanse. So I could put a patch on it, and the patch could be knitted or woven. So I could knit a patch and sew it on, or I could weave a patch and sew it on or weave it on. And there are things that are, one of them is called a Weaveit, W-E-A-V-E-I-T. I just made that up. And I bought one, and then Woven Art, where I work, started selling them. So it's not the same kind that they sell. I would have gotten theirs if I'd known. And it's a way to weave over a hole and attach it to the hole at the same time. So I could try that. I haven't used that yet. And that's, I don't know. It's a really big, I don't know yet. So that's been marinating, but I thought I'd bring it out and show you that it's in the pile. It's in the lineup. Okay. The thing that I just remembered that I wanted to tell you about was I'm going to take 2 classes in a couple weeks in November at Stitches November, Stitches at Home November. and I'm not teaching, I'm taking. I'm very excited. I'm taking a little break from teaching. And the first class I'm taking is called Boob Camp, like boot camp, and it's 4 2-hour sessions over 2 weekends. Um, and it's going to teach me, I hope. It's taught by Kim McBrien Evans, who I've listened to some talks from her, and she knows she studies, she knows a lot about fitting the upper body, um, and taking things into account that most patterns don't take into account, like boobs, for example, um, shoulders, upper arms, the three-dimensional ality, three-dimensionality of your back versus your front, things like that that would be important for the teaching of how to make sweaters that I do, the helping people at the shop fit sweaters to themselves, fit their sweaters to themselves that I do, and the tech editing that I do where I actually grade sizes out in both directions. So that would help too. So I'm taking that class. Excited about that. And then I'm taking one, and that's kind of like professional development. And then I'm taking one just for me called, I don't know what it's called. It's called, I don't know what it's called, but it's about black work. Black work is a form of embroidery. And I think that traditionally it has either black or red thread only. And then this is taught over Aida cloth, which I've never known how to say, but I think it's Aida. And I used to do counted cross stitch all the time. This isn't counted cross stitch. It's more like an open work embroidery, and there's different stitches, and I don't have any idea, and I'm going to take a class and learn how to do it. The teacher's name is Linda Peets. I don't know her at all. She's been teaching for stitches for a while. Seems like a nice person. I don't know her yet, but I will. And I'm sorry that I missed the class where the project was this big color wheel with each spoke of the wheel. It's like a color wheel though. Was a different blackwork stitch pattern, and it was done in colors. It wasn't done traditionally, so it was beautiful. And I didn't sign up for that one because I didn't know what it was. So this time it's a pen/pencil roll, and so I'm going to make that. It won't hang on my wall, but it will be useful because I have, for example, fountain pens that don't have a home. Well, they don't have a pretty roll-up home. And I'm going to be a rebel. I ordered some black Aida, which I know is going to be fun on my eyes, but I decided I wanted to have a black background. And that means I'm not going to use the colors that were called for either. I'm going to go for really bright colors probably. And then, oh, so you don't even know. I'll find the link and I'll put it in the thing so you can click on it now or later. Let me find the thing. Click. So I am going to Stitches, events. Oh, Fran says she did, see, it worked to put my iPad on. Fran says she did the color wheel blackwork class and that I'll like the teacher. Good. Well, I hope she doesn't mind that A, I probably won't be there the first weekend, and B, I'm changing everything. I don't know how to do it, but I'm going to do it differently. Hi, Fran. Bringing up the class, and I can't share screen successfully. So I'm just going to put a link to the class in the page and you can go look at it. Here we go. There it is. So it's called the Blackwork Artist Tool Roll Up. And if you nope, I already messed up. Hold on. Clip. Okay. Clip. I said clip. It's called cut. And let's go to comments. And I'm going to do paste. Hey, Lisa. Okay. There. So that's the Blackwork class. And if you click on that for a minute, I see that Teresa was sorry she's black. Maybe that's where I got the idea. But this is a small project. And so I think I'll be okay. I could put crochet hooks in my roll-up, but I have a lovely crochet hook roll-up already. So there you go. So I'm looking at the thing I put in the link and it brought up a little tiny picture of the thing. So it's 3 panels of pencils, 3 pencils each. And I'm just going to not have eraser. It's really cute, but I'm going to put fountain pens in. So I'm going to not have erasers. And then each of the pencils is a different blackwork pattern. So there's 9 blackwork patterns to learn. And so I'll just have different colors that are bright and will look nice on a background, a black background. And then the pencil parts, I'm going to put silver instead of pencil wood color, whatever pencils are made out of, and then put a split down the middle and have fountain pens. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm so excited. Um, but I'm going to a thing the first weekend, so I don't know if I can attend the classes the first weekend. I'm going to try really hard to attend the boob camp classes because I want to be able to ask questions. I'll put boob camp up there too now that I've got the window open. Let's go back, and then I'll put another link up that you might be excited about. Is that it? Yes. Oh, that was easy. There we go. Click. Let's see if I can click the right things. Copy. Come on. Paste. So I'm going to send. So one of my a dislike I have about the virtual format is people who take the class but don't take the class. They rely on the recording. So it's, imagine the worst case scenario for the teacher where you have like, I don't know, 5 people in class and nobody shows up, but they're all taking the class. So you have to, perform to an empty screen. That would be a bummer. I'm not sure how I'd handle that badly, I'm sure. So I'm going to, and I have had students email me and say, oh, I'm not going to be there. I'm going to have to leave early or I'm going to miss this session or whatever. So I am planning on letting the people know, the teachers, Kim McBrien Evans and Linda Peets, know that I will most likely not be there for all the sessions because I'm going on a retreat. And I want to do the retreat things. So there you go. And then I'm going to put up one more link, which is filling another gap, because remember, filling the gaps was the theme today, I think. I forget, actually. Whoops. Oh, gosh. All right. So I've been busy as a little bee. That's not the right thing. I've been busy as a little bee clicking on all the wrong things. Okay. So I'm going to my website, which is sarahpeasley.com, and I'm pulling up the brand new shiny page for my brand new shiny class. And yay! And I'm putting it in the comments. And this will be ongoing. Did I hit enter? No. Boom. And what this is my current offering. Well, I try to come up with a way to teach classes in our new era. This is how I'm going to teach classes for right now. And it's an online version of my Knitter's Choice that I used to do in my house once a month. And now it's going to be once a week. But nope. 5 times on Thursdays. Every Thursday, not every Thursday, but on Thursdays, there will be 5 time slots and it'll be a one-on-one. Thank you, Jennifer. It'll be a one-on-one session. So you get me for an hour and you can ask me anything and I'm home. So I have all the crap that we could ever need for me to get and show you or to look up. And I can help you with whatever you want. I can teach you Fair Isle. I can teach you Intarsia. I can teach you how to sew on a button. I can help you figure out where the hell you are on a project that you put in your closet 6 years ago. I can talk you through fixing a mistake. I can help you with a new pattern that you don't understand. I can do anything that you want for an hour. Or, come back and have another hour. But it's like open office hours, but you get to choose the curriculum. And if Thursdays are going to be for Knitter's Choice and I'll just sit here and knit. And if I have somebody sign up, then I'll stop knitting. and I'll talk to them. Hi, Ellen. Nice to see you. Um, so I'm excited about that. I'm really excited about that. So, and I have I thought hilarious rundown of how you can use Knitter's Choice on the Zoom. I call it Knitter's Choice on the Zoom because that's what I call the Zoom. So I'm excited about that. That just became live like an hour before I became live, which would make it very old. No, today it went live this afternoon. So I'm really excited about that. Like I didn't tell anybody I was doing it, so now it exists, and I'm super excited. Thank you, Fran. It's it can be ongoing, and then as I figure more things out, we'll do more things. But this is the Thursday thing, and then I wanted to show you how we're doing for time. Oh yeah, just a little bit more because did I mention I'm behind on all the things? I wanted to show you this guy again, and I am more convinced than ever that my mom made one like this. I don't remember if it was in strips like this one or if it was done in one piece like Marilyn's, familiar with. But here, so I sat on my couch yesterday and I said, I'll do there's 4 seams. There's 5 strips. There's 4 seams. And some of the seam, it's a, I don't know, 20-year-old Afghan, I think. And there's actually 2 of them. And the Afghan's mom, whose name is Margaret, I don't know, so there are 2 Afghans in the family, and I'm rescuing both of them. And there were holes, and most of the holes were where it had been sewn, where the strips had been sewn together. So I looked at it and I said, well, I could sew it together more firmly than it had been sewn together. And now I'm sort of, yeah. So this is an example of where it had been sewn together right here. So it's a panel. This is a panel from here down, well, up to the top of the lacy peak, down to the bottom of the peak, up to the bottom of the peak, top of the lacy peak, and then down to the bottom of the peak again. So then that's where it's sewn together, is in the middle there. And and this is what the middle of the peak, that's what the middle of the pattern looks like, and that's what the middle of where the sewing together looks like. And I think it could be a lot better looking and a lot more secure. So here is me sewing it together, and I think it looks a lot better. Well, I think it's more secure and looks more like the pattern is coming together. Now, the downside is that the one that they used before, here's the wrong side of it, doesn't look so good, but it's pretty flat. And what the original person who put it together did was, so if you're watching, I'm assuming you maybe know how to knit, and there's little knobbly bits, technical knitting terms, the little knots on the sides of what would be the panels, the knots. Think of the side of stockinette stitch. So they sewed knot, and just kind of wove the knots together, which worked, but it's not beautiful, and it was coming apart. So I have chosen to do more seaming than not weaving. And it's a tiny bit, there's a little bit of a ridge that didn't used to be there. So I'm a little sad. I don't know what they're going to think about that, they being the original families. Originally, I went in one whole stitch because that's how I would prefer to sew, and the ridge was twice as big. And now it sat for a while, and I decided to go a half a stitch in, which I'm not a fan of, but that makes the ridge smaller. It's as secure, maybe not quite as secure, but secure enough for sure. And that's what I'm just gonna do a little bit for you to show you what I settled on. And then I hope to get this to her. Well, she's going away. She's leaving town the end of the month, October 31st, and she wants to take the Afghans with her. They're very beloved. She goes back and forth between Boston and this area, and she's going and takes the afghans back and forth. I don't know. So I'm just checking. I was just checking the chat. So I'm going to pull this down again and show you what I've been doing. And we have a red needle today on this project. So see, this is where they're going together, and I think it looks pretty nice. And this is where we have to put together. So it has been sewn together. You can see that the knots are pulled because that's how it was sewn together, was just knot. And now I'm being so that's not even a half a stitch in, that's just grabbing these guys. And so I'm going a half stitch in. And I'm just going to sew and tell you what I'm doing. I'm not going to try to teach you because it goes from garter to stockinette. The edges look different. The stockinette has V's and the garter has the bumps. And then I think something weird happened. Well, no, probably nothing. Well, I don't think anything weird happened. I think this was just done exactly the way the pattern said to do it. And it was put together very consistently and evenly, but I just think, oh, I've got fuzzies up my nose. I just think, oh, I have fuzzies up my nose. I just think that it could be more secure to last another 20 years. So I finished up here. Oh, this is where Clara started barking at me. And this is the third seam. I did 2.5 almost seams last night because I got on a roll. I finished the first one. It took a little over an hour. And there's 8 seams because there's 2 afghans, so that looks like 8 hours of work to me. And the second seam, I talked to a friend on the phone for quite a while. That was helpful. And then the third seam, I started watching a movie, and Clara started barking up a storm. And it was like, I don't know, 9 o'clock at night or something. And she'd eaten, she'd gone outside, and I was like, I don't know what you want. She wanted to go to bed. The little jerkwad just wanted to go to bed. So I took everything upstairs, like I was going to sew and watch a movie upstairs, but then I was tired because I was in bed and I fell asleep. But yeah, she ran up and got in bed and just zonked right out. So she's like, I want to go to sleep, Mom. Bark, 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 bark. Okay. So that was fun. So here I'm sewing together, and in a perfect world, there's 3 rows of stockinette, 3 garter ridges, well, it's really not garter, actually, it's reverse stockinette. So it's 3 rows of knit, 3 rows of purl, 3 rows of knit, 3 rows of purl. And I'm not saying that right either, but you know what I mean. And then they're increasing and decreasing. So where it's knit to knit, and to abbreviate this a bit, I take 1 stitch on one side and then 1 stitch on the other. So I'm going a half a stitch in, which means 1 strand, grabbing the bar that's the top of a stitch, and then I'm going and getting the matching bar on the other side, half a stitch in, 1 strand in. And I pull a little bit, and then I go back and get the next strand. And because it's a half a stitch in, the strands all look different. Some of them are knots and some of them are not knots. That one's kind of hidden. And then I come back and get the third one. So there's 3 stockinette stitch ones. Whoop. I'm trying not to split anything. And then I'll pull. Every once in a while I'll pull to get the yarn I'm sewing with cut up. And then I'll pull more so it gets bunched up. And then I'll unpull. So by bunching it up like this, and then unbunching it up, you know that you've snugged all of the parts. And before I weave in any ends, I'm going to lay this out on a big flat surface and snug the whole thing and unsnug the whole thing so that it's all nice and even, and make sure that all the seams are snugged and unsnugged the same amount. So they all measure the same length, or all lay to the same length. And now I'm to the and then I'll weave the ends in. And now I'm to the purl ridges. I keep calling them garter, but they're purl. And I'm taking the outside bump to the outside bump. And I'm actually seeing it as a bottom bump and a bottom bump, if that makes sense. See how that's below, this one is below that one, and this one is below that one. That's what I'm talking about. And this is not normal mattress stitch. This is just me trying to do a half stitch in seam, a half stitch in. And this one, the bottom bump hides under there. So I'm going to get it. And then the third one is here and here. So this was a nice thing to do while I was talking to my friend, because I could just look down at it and work away. And I don't really have to count to 3. I just sort of get in a rhythm of doing 3 things and then 3 things, and just watching, and I'm familiar with what I'm looking for, so I can do. Have I been off the screen? I apologize. It's not helpful. So I just know that I'm looking for those. So now I'm trying to do it all in the next day or two, so I remember what I chose to do, so that everything's what I chose for the parts that I'm sewing together, so that all the parts are the same, all the seams are the same. That's what I'm trying to say. So, okay. And then there was another word in there. Another sentence started. And this one is weird. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 1. Okay. There's 1, I think. 1 and 1. And 2 and 2. And the goal is, I missed one. Okay, I missed one, so I'm undoing this, because I got to the third and there wasn't a third one here, so what did I get wrong? There was one here. Yeah, they're kind of not consistent. 3 and 3. And then pull. And so the good thing I'm trying to accomplish is that when they're sewn together, it looks like the V's are just all lined up. Isn't that pretty? And these guys are, if I really was trying to get those to line up, I would do a top bump on one, or a bottom bump on one side and a top bump on the next. And I didn't start that way, so I'm not continuing that way. I'm just doing bottom, bottom. Because if I picked up top bump, I would have gotten a larger ridge on the inside, and I decided my goal was a smaller ridge on the inside. So there's a few of those. So that's what I'm doing. Oh, but then that's what I was going to say. So I watched a movie for part of it, and it turned out that I was actually watching the movie, so I kept putting down my darning needle, and 1, 2, 3. 1. That's definitely 2. Okay. See, if you wanted to pay me, I would show you how to sew this together if that's what you wanted to do. That's how it works. Whoops. Outside. 1, 2. This one gets wacky. 2, 3. Okay, this is the last one, and then I'm gonna show you my beautiful face again. So there you go. That's what this seam looks like now. And let's park that. Oh, park that. That's what I was going to tell you. Okay, let me tell you about park that. And here's what the seams used to look like. Here. And here's what it looks like now. I lost it. Here. So I think it looks better. All right, I'm going to put that aside too. And another thing is, it's in a giant bag from Macy's, and it's just bugging me. I need to find a big paper sack or something. I can't stand the plastic bags to put knitting in. Don't get me wrong, I have my, well, that was fun for you to see. I have my bag in some of my knitting is in plastic bags, but this is like one of those, like they bought a coat and put it in there. Anyway, the other thing, when I said park my needle, so when I ordered the black Aida cloth, because Seams, the fabric shop next to the yarn shop where I work, has a beautiful embroidery department, but doesn't have Aida cloth. They have some imported, I forget if it's British or what the company is, the embroidery floss they have. And then they have kits and they have needles and they have hoops and all the stuff, but they don't sell the Ada cloth unless it's in a kit. Um, so I looked at Michael's and Joann's and they don't have black. And on Amazon, oh, so I went to Amazon, but on Amazon, the reviews, if you said black Ada cloth, bunch of stuff pops up, and the reviews were like, this isn't cut to the right width, or it's cut across all the squares, and the class says you need to have, I don't know, 11 by 18 or something. So I thought, well, who makes the good stuff? And I figured out it was, well, I don't know, but I went and looked at what the names of the Ada cloth people are that I recognized. And so I found that and ordered a black piece. So that should arrive. It should either be on my porch right now in the rain or it should arrive today or tomorrow. And, while I was ordering the Ada cloth, I also looked at 14 count. Ellen just asked, what hole size and how much do you need? So 14, and it was 11 by 18, I believe. It was on that class page. And a size 20 needle, I think, which I don't know. I have a shit ton of needles, so hopefully one of them is a 20. And somewhere I found a resource that's like every needle ever, a picture of it, and what it is and what size it is and what it's used for. So you can compare your needle and its life size somehow. I mean, if you bring it up correctly so that you can see what needles you have. Because I have some needles in packages, but most of my needles are not in packages. So I'm sure I have a 20. It's just not marked. And then I'm sure I have a hoop. I got to go look. But if not, I can get it at Seams on Wednesday. The class isn't till the first weekend in, the first class is the first weekend in November. Anyway, while I was on the Amazon, I thought sorry, I'm getting just grooming myself. When I see other people embroidering these days, I used to embroider all the time, but these days there are pretty little magnet things you can put on your piece that you can just stick your needle to so you don't have to put it through the fabric. Needle minders or needle keepers or something. And I'm like, new stuff to get. So I looked through them. I said needle minders or something, magnetic needle minders or something. And I just scrolled, and I found one. And it's arriving today or tomorrow also. And I'll just show it to you next week. It's hilarious. I didn't go for cute. I went for hilarious. So you'll have to come back to see my new needle minder. Someone gave me that same Afghan as a wedding present. Yeah, I think it's just the classic, zigzag Afghan or ripple stitch. But Marilyn, who was on here, said she had one or knows of one, but it's done in one piece. I swear my mom had made one. I don't think I have it. One of my sisters must have it. And I don't know if it was done in one piece or sewn. This one's definitely sewn. There's two. So I'm going to try to get those done. Well, so those are now due. Now I have a deadline of the end of the month. And for the giraffe repair, Wednesday. So 2 things will be gone. Oh, and the woman with the intarsia wrap walked into the shop on Wednesday. And I didn't know what she looked like. So she said, is Sarah working today? I said, I'm Sarah. And she said, I'm Janet. And I went, oh! And I slathered her with praise for the wrap that I'm working on for her before she could say, where the hell is my wrap? And she was so excited and she left with a smile on her face. And I got her email and I promised to send her photographs of how beautiful it is and how long it is, which I have to do. I have a note. But that was a weird coincidence because in the shower that morning I had thought I should contact that woman and tell her that it is indeed in progress. It is getting done. So that was a weird coincidence. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Sudden stop. But like I said at the beginning, I'm behind on everything. I'm going to go do some of those things, and I will see you next week at 5. Okay?